Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call, searching for life, voices true.
Well, welcome to our 75th anniversary videos. Today we have Danny and Charmayne Saylors, and long-time members here. And so I guess the first question is, how did you guys become members of St. James?
Let's see. I was raised in Michigan Dutch Reformed.
Oh.
And when we moved here, I became a Methodist and kind of stopped going when I graduated from high school. And then one day, our Leah was in preschool. Not here, but she was in preschool. And she came home and she said, "Mommy," she said, "how come we don't talk about Jesus?"
Oh.
And we realized we needed to be back in the church.
Okay.
So my sister and her husband were going here.
Okay.
And so that's what led us to St. James.
Okay. Now, what year was that? Do you remember?
88.
88. Okay, so you've been here quite some time. Now, what was your background, Danny?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a background in church at all.
Okay.
No, with after school things, church things, and Bible studies and things like that after school, but never really as a family we didn't go to church, so
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Just never did.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still here, so
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So now, what roles have you played here in the over the years?
I do the hayride every year.
Yes, you do. Yes, that's really
For about
good.
25 years,
Yeah.
probably. I don't know. A lot of. We wrote some stuff down, but I played softball. That was one of the things why I wanted to play, why I wanted to join, was so I could get on the softball team.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Because you don't have to try out. You just show up.
Yeah.
If you got a mitt, you can play. So those kind of things, and usher, server, praise band, youth board,
Oh, so quite a lot.
property board, nativity walk, parish planning, hayride, Easter breakfast,
Oh,
a couple things.
yeah, quite a few.
Sometimes on Sunday I'm doing 2 or 3 things.
Now, you guys, you're one of the tax collectors, right? The nativity one.
Yes, the nativity. I'm a try to be really nice. I'm still sad about that, Julie. Sorry. What's her little kid boy?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got scared. Yeah.
Yeah, I scared him. I didn't mean to, but Ashley West kids and Everett's, their little boys, they just talked right back at me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were just
yeah.
really bold, and it was pretty. That was a lot of fun. Now, but it's always fun. I like to do it.
It is. Sure, right?
I taught Sunday school when our daughter was young. I think it was important to us to be here and that she be here for Sunday school. So I taught Sunday school. I've been a greeter, currently serve on evangelism board and have for several years, and currently participating in a women's Bible study.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. You're hoping the pastor find a house.
It's yes.
Realtor, so.
I was a Sunday school teacher too, because I did the same time you did. I remember having to go out and get some parents to come and get their rowdy kids.
Oh.
I think if you're in something long enough, your list can look pretty long. I mean, we've been going here a while, so I think you just tend to get involved in different ways.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it one time. There was a casual gourmet within the church, and I'm going to say 12, 14 couples, and we would take turns hosting and do dinners, and that's not really church related, but it's friendships that I think you develop because somebody asks you to do something, and you participate because somebody asked.
Sure.
Or euchre club.
Our euchre club.
Yeah, we do a euchre club.
And it's church it's all church friends.
It's interesting because euchre's a very Indiana thing.
Yes.
I'd never heard of it before.
Really?
And I came here when I moved to Fort Wayne years and years ago. My congregation talked about euchre, and I was like, "You mean Bob Euchre?"
Yeah. How do you spell that? Even, you know?
Like, no, euchre. Like, I don't even, and I never have learned how to play it. And every time I have tried, the people are really competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. You know?
It can get that way.
It can get
Last
that
month,
way.
Charmayne's Girls Club has a euchre thing every month.
Oh.
And somebody didn't show up, and somebody was sick, so they called me and asked me if I wanted to play. Well, it'd been so long since I'd played just regular euchre that I really had to rely on everybody else to. I didn't win anyway, so it didn't matter. But
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yes.
It's euchre and basketball. Real
Yeah.
Indiana.
Oh yeah,
traditions.
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That in Tenderloin, Fort Tenderloin. So it's a very
well,
Indiana thing.
When we started to think about some of the things that we've been involved in, it's we've just developed some amazing friendships in this church, just from doing things with people, just getting involved and participating in different things. It's a lot of our friends are from here now.
Right.
I'd say most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they don't turn you away too often.
No. Well, speaking of that, I mean, who are people that have impacted you here at St. James over the years?
I really like Phil Roselle. He was a youth pastor.
Yeah.
He's passed now, but Joyce's husband.
Right.
And I like Phil. He was a little, but I liked him. He's a funny thing. When I was talking to Phil, our new praise leader,
Yeah.
and he said he had an RV. And he told me this last week.
Oh.
And he was talking to me about his RV, and he said it was kind of slow, you know, it wasn't very. I said, what kind was it? He said it was a Toyota. Boy, it brought me right back to Phil Roselle when they moved here from either California or Seattle.
Somewhere
but they
west.
drove a Toyota
Oh, that's
RV.
funny.
He said, yeah, going over the mountains was terrible with it, you know. So it brought me back a little bit.
I'm decided I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to leave anybody out. But since the 80s, there have been some people pass and some people move, and I think a vast majority of the people that have been here have been an influence on me in one way or another. And I think when you're younger, it seems to be the older ones that encourage you to do things, to get involved. They seem to be the ones that kind of mentor everybody.
Yeah.
So I guess that's getting to be us.
Yeah.
We're at that age. We need to start mentoring some of the younger ones, encouraging
Yeah, absolutely.
them.
There was a lady
Yes.
that walked up to me at Needler's last week, and she was right behind me, and we were in line at the checkout, and she sits kind of in between on that side of the church over there.
Oh, it was the church.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember her name. We stood there and talked for however long it took to get up there, But of course, I see her in there every Sunday, and it's always good to see somebody outside the church, that recognizes you, and even if you can't remember their name right off the bat, when you get old, you can rely on that.
Right.
Say, I'm just old; I can't remember.
So, are there any interesting stories or anecdotes or things that have happened since you've been here that are memorable?
That's a funny thing you'd ask that question. Not particularly. I don't think. We come to church on Sunday, and it's you get that hour out of the way, and
Yeah.
that didn't come out right, did it? I remember Pastor Carlson used to have we had a clock up there for him because he would get to talking, and
Go a little
forget
on.
where he was at.
He's probably listening to this.
Well, and that's okay with
He
me.
listens to all of that. He tells me so.
I got no regrets.
I don't know. Big celebrations. It just seems like there's something all the time
Every
in the
weekend.
works. There's something being planned. There's just it's an active congregation.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the youth group. I don't remember if I was the head of the youth group at that point. Lee was in there, and so we were doing a car wash on a Saturday out in the parking lot here.
Oh.
And Phil and I got there kind of early in the morning on a Saturday morning. We're setting our little cones up for people to drive around, whatever. And some lady on one of the houses back here was screaming just like crazy. And so we looked up, and I set my coffee down. We went running over there, and this guy had electrocuted himself. Yep. And so Phil and I revived him, brought him back about like 3 times. We'd get him going, and he'd quit, and we'd get him going again. And,
Oh my God.
yeah. That happened one Saturday morning. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'd had a lot of CPR classes, so
Yeah, well,
it worked.
that's good. Yeah.
It absolutely works.
You just never know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
On a Saturday morning, it's cold. Never know.
No, you guys have had a lot of, your women's group is really active with different sales and stuff like that, I know. And yeah, it's been good.
It's been just, I can't say enough about the people here.
Yeah. Very
I like most of them.
Yeah. And you sing in the praise team too.
I do that, yeah. Well, I told Phil, I said, I've never heard myself sing, so I don't know what it sounds like out there. I don't have a clue what it sounds like. I can hear myself when I'm singing, but I don't know what it might sound like out there. I probably wouldn't even know my own voice.
I never listen to myself.
Yeah.
I never listen to myself. So I have no idea what I
Oh, you're pretty bad, I have to.
Is it? Oh, my, I had a feeling. I knew it. That's why I didn't do it. No, I have a few times. It just unnerves me, and so I don't. My kids always Charlie's always trying to play my sermons on because they're on YouTube. I'm going, don't when I'm in the room.
So you're not listening to these every night?
Oh no, I listen to these. I just don't listen
Do you
to myself
edit?
preach. Yeah, I edit. Not a lot.
Yeah, probably don't have to a lot.
No.
So it's we if we didn't like it, we wouldn't be here. That's just it. I like the people. I like the building. Like I heard Mike Klein talking about. Well, I think it was Mike Klein talking about working in the kitchen back here during Easter.
Before the whole end was added.
We were having the breakers were tripping everywhere. It was a mess.
Oh yeah. That's been kind of unusual with the kitchen we have down there because, I'm used to working in church kitchens where like Easter circuit breakers are just popping all over because we got and you don't really have that problem here.
We did.
You did at one point.
Oh, we did.
Not with the new one.
We absolutely did.
Yeah, and that's a pretty common church problem because, not used to having.
Yeah, those electric skillet stuff take a lot of amps, and you got a 20 amp breaker, and you got 40 stuff on, and 40 amps going, and they're not going to last long.
No, we add things. My father's side is German.
Oh.
And I didn't really remember until I came here that my father was raised German Lutheran.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm sure I visited church with Grandma.
Sure.
But
sure.
that it was a connection that brought us here, actually. Yeah.
Now you take a mission trip every year, don't you, down to Mexico?
Yeah, I do that about 15 years. I've done that, and go down in January, the first 2 or 3 weeks of January, and go down to Mexico and work at a Bible school down there, Bible college.
Oh.
And we've built several buildings down there. I go with a real good friend of mine, John Bachman. I used to work with at Fisher Body.
Oh.
And we go every year in January. This year it was cold and rainy. It was terrible weather down there in Mexico.
Oh.
They weren't used to this kind of weather down there. That was real unusual weather for them down there. Wow. So, it's always... I'm thinking about Wednesday. I'm thinking, gee, I wish it was Friday. I'd be going home, working like a dog.
People say, Charmayne, don't you want to go? I'm like, no, they work really hard.
There were 3 college girls that went this time, and they kept them busy painting and doing stuff. All the time. There's always something for somebody to do. Wow. It does not matter if you have any skills or not. You don't have to have a skill.
Oh wow.
So I don't have a skill. I wish I did sometimes.
I think mission trips are kind of neat. I do.
Well, it's a 24-hour trip. We get on the bus and we just start driving, and takes us 24 hours to get to Piedras Negras, Mexico, which is right across the border from Eagles Pass, which is 140 miles south of San Antonio.
Oh, okay. So it's down by Texas then, that area. Okay.
Now, when the group from the church went down to help after the hurricane, we weren't a part of that.
Oh,
there were several people from the church.
That was in New Orleans.
I don't think we got to ask.
Oh,
I don't think they turn anybody away for that kind of stuff.
Now, if you're waiting for somebody to ask you, you're waiting a while. That's true. That.
So, what changes have you noticed in the church through the years that you've been here?
Well, since you got here, it's been, it's pretty much contemporary. I don't know if that's the word you should use to I don't know that there's an actual thing that I would go by to think what's different in the church or not different or whatever, because it seems like it's all the same to me. It's never changed. So
sure.
That's the way I look at it.
The building changes.
Well, the building changed, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, that building project. That was a big, big deal. Feed my lambs. All you want.
Well, and I liked when the preschool was here. I was not involved in the inner workings or why the decisions were made, but just from my experience from my daughter being in a Christian preschool, I really liked it. And then our grandkids went to, it was like a preschool daycare, both.
Oh.
So I think that was kind of a big change, and for whatever reason needed to happen.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know what changes. I'm sure there have been. And when we look at the old pictures, there's been a lot of changes, mostly in membership aging out or people moving.
Now we're getting older by the minute.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, how has St. James impacted your faith walk, your relationship with God?
Quite a bit. I think that being around other faith-driven people, other Christians, I think it affects your relationships. I think it affects your marriage. If you spend time with people that are on the same path,
Sure.
Trying to make the right decisions in how you raise your family, and just interacting with other Christians.
Sure.
It's affected every area, I think, of my life. Faith walk, it's been a long faith walk for me. I was baptized at birth and accepted Christ at Jack and Jill Bible Camp when I was about 7. So being a part of a congregation has always been a part of my life. But I don't know, we just found a home here.
Oh, good.
We just found a home here and stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, you're deal, right?
I really liked your sermon Sunday, and that was about you remember that I was listening to it. It's hard for me to keep track of what's going on for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes my mind wanders and.
Just in general, huh? Not particularly.
Well, no, not me, no, of course not. But it was just a good sermon, I thought.
Oh, thanks. So, what hopes or things would you like to see happen at St. James in the future?
I think, we just need to continue to grow, just as a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably need to do things to attract younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come when you're young, you can stay a long time.
Right.
So I think whatever that looks like, we have very active boards here, very active committees.
Yeah.
And I think we do a lot to try to encourage people to come in the door, see what we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
I think just
that's true.
continue some of those things.
We used to come in and before the service started, we'd greet everybody, your neighbor, whatever. We don't do that anymore.
Oh.
I've kind of lost. I kind of like that. I mean,
You mean within the actual service?
Oh,
people sitting in
yeah.
your pew there, and you're next. And
Oh, sure.
You see them for 6 weeks, but you still don't know their name. I mean, the gal at the store the other day, I couldn't.
Right. Right.
Couldn't remember her name, but
Yeah.
can't know everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
And there again, you got first service and second service, and once in a while we cross paths,
Right. Right.
but not a lot.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's one of the reasons we moved. I think when I got here, the service was at 8, and then 10:30, and we actually moved them closer, about a half hour closer, because that gave time. It shortened our Bible class by 15 minutes, but it gave time to people to interact a little bit better.
When I come in for the praise on Sunday, people are still here, so I get to
Yeah.
talk to people now. So
Yeah.
come in 15 minutes earlier. So
People linger
yeah,
here. I mean,
They
after
do.
worship, they do.
that tells you
Yeah.
something right there.
Yeah.
It's not just get it done and get out the door. I didn't mean to sound that way a minute ago.
It's funny.
It came out that way.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
this congregation is really, really friendly, and just we'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but
You can edit this
This
out.
whole-
during first service, everybody's so friendly. They get along so well. Well, during first service, we were having a problem because during communion we were singing one song. Well, if people weren't singing, they were back there talking. And we get complaints, hey, people are back there talking. So that's why there's 2 communion songs in first service now, is so people won't talk. Because we didn't want to tell people, hey, stop talking with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's that friendliness. We said, well, just add a second song. They won't know the difference. And so now the
Yeah.
cat's out of the bag. There's 2
Just
songs.
let into it. Huh?
Oh well,
And it works. Because we want to encourage that. We
Yeah.
want to encourage it to be a place where people come in and meet their friends and have that experience. And, I mean, that's why, I probably stayed in the church when I was younger, was because it was where my friends
yeah.
were. It's a big deal.
I get that. And a lot of the kids you see out today, exactly the same
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they hang out with each other, and
Yeah.
even as adults they do that because they went to Sunday school here with them and whatever.
Yeah, it's always neat during those holidays with some of the older college
When they
kids.
come in,
When they come in, because then they run into each other, and you
Yeah.
can tell that
Yeah.
they had really good relations
Oh,
before, because
yeah.
they're talking,
Yeah.
and because they haven't seen each other for so long. So I mean, it says
it's like a
lot.
reunion.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to meet people when you're new to a community.
It is.
Find a church
It is.
and
It is. Yeah. Well, is there anything else I should have asked you or didn't ask you, or you wanted to add in, or you didn't cover?
I'm afraid to say a whole lot because I'll get in trouble sometimes. Yeah, it's just almost secondhand stuff around here for me. I mean, I did come in, and I do whatever you're doing. You do what you want to do,
Right.
and it's just friendly, like you said. It's friendly atmosphere. I love our new praise band guy, Phil.
Yeah,
I love
Phil.
that guy,
Feels great. Yeah.
Phil. Peace out, brother. He said he was from California, and I asked him if he knew where the Beach Boys were at, and he said, "Hey, Beach Boys at."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. He's from California. His wife is from here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why he's back here.
Yeah.
So we're thankful to Cindy.
yes,
There you go.
He
yes.
married
Absolutely.
Cindy, so he had to come back.
Lives
here.
in Peru.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what my mom used to call her,
Oh,
Peru.
Peru.
Yeah, she's a hillbilly.
Yeah, I don't know. 75 years for the church for us, I'm going to say 30 some years. It went fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It went fast.
Yeah.
And there's been changes in the building, there's been changes in the people, but it's pretty constant.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
And there will be changes. And we'll roll with them.
Oh yeah.
There has to be changes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's just the way the world is.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining me.
Thank
Glad to have
you.
guys.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time with another interview. Peace out.
Walking these
We just turned it off.
shadows.
Kept thinking
fall.
about like Aaron's, theirs was long, and everybody's is a little
Echoes
different.
call,
Yeah,
searching for
and it was fine.
voice is true. St. James Church in the heart of
Stoner.
glorify God. Nurture all
Yeah,
and share the gospel. Hear the call.
they tend to, I'm thinking they tend to run 25, 35, somewhere in there.
Singing new names. Pushing through the night, feeling small, seeking the answers stall. Windows of grace